Hi guys, welcome back to the Star Wars figure review. Next video we're going to take a look at one of the figures from the Vintage Collection, and we're jumping back to last year in these ones with a character from the Clone Wars in Season 7 of the Clone Wars, of course. And if you haven't already guessed by the title, it is Darth Maul, or just Maul, simply based off his appearance in the Mandalorian final episodes of Siege of Mandalore arc, should I say, in regards to the Clone Wars. That just went from me completely there. Now before we look at the figure in detail, we'll take a look at the packaging that this one comes in. This one has just been under my table, so you can see it's slightly damaged. It's become slightly damaged as a result of being packed away while I waited to sort of save it for the review here, but don't mind that. But we do get the nice picture of Darth Maul in action. This is sort of I think this is meant to be a realistic interpretation of him in the Siege of Mandalore arc of the Clone Wars, and it really looks great. I mean, it really looks like the Ray Park rendition of him from the Phantom Menace, and very much so in regards to being one of those brand new figures in the Clone Wars. And as you can see, though, it still says Darth Maul, even though at this point he does go under the name Maul. On the back, you do get a picture of other characters available in the wave, the majority of which I do own at this point. I think the only ones on there I don't own are in Vintage Collection scale, Grief Karga and the Off-World Jawa. I'm surprised I haven't got Grief Karga, but everyone else I've managed to get my hands on. So yeah, I've given you a look at some of these already in the past, but they are good figures that are in the line there, as you can see as well. Vintage Collection number 201 in regards to Darth Maul in the collection. I mean, that picture there really suits it out, and just the whole Star Wars of the Clone Wars design, everything just works out. So we'll start taking a look at the figure that this one comes in. As you can see, it's based off his, as I said before, it is based off his appearance in the Siege of Mandalore arc, that being the final arc of the Clone Wars, in which Ahsoka, Bo-Katan, and Rex and many others invade Mandalore in an effort to bring it back, take it back from Maul and all that. So that does work well. We start looking at the facial sculpt that this one has. As you know, this is an older Maul. This is about the same time as the Revenge of the Sith film, as we know the arc to take place during, and they've sculpted Maul really well in regards to this line of figures. He just really sticks out well. They stopped taking the realistic look from Phantom Menace Maul and helped carry it over into the Vintage Collection there. Of course, Maul does come with his double-bladed lightsaber. Of course, at this point in the timeline, he has taken what was his original Episode 1 lightsaber, as seen there, and it of course had a new hilt sculpted in as it became that's basically what happened to it in the film. Because if you remember in Episode 1, Obi-Wan cut the lightsaber in half, so we ended up with just this half that Maul fought with for the rest of their duel on Naboo, and then for their earlier duels in the Clone Wars with Savage Opress. Then this, of course, was a new part of the blade that was later added on there. And of course, the lightsaber does eventually get lost at the end of the Siege of Mandalore duel, when Maul and Ahsoka are up in the rafters, and it is knocked free from Maul's hands, and it's lost forever, basically. He never uses it again, because of course you had a new one which he used during Rebels and his brief appearance in Solo, which does look brilliant. I do like the look of that. I never got my hands on the Rebels Maul figure though, so I don't have the newer version. Of course, the sculpting on his prosthetic legs really do go really well. I'm just looking at the camera picture there. I mean, they really look like they've been really well done. Like everything Hasbro done into making this Vintage Collection figure be a figure you want. Like all the detailing for his tattoos on his chest there as well. Of course, they are less prevalent for Siege of Mandalore, because of course he was the whole shirtless Maul for the Clone Wars arc. But of course now he's sort of gone back off that at this point in time. Of course, back in Rebels, eventually when Rebels came, he was back to as he was before. Sort of back earlier, yeah. He wasn't fully shirtless at that point, so. Yeah, but the whole prosthetic level there, I mean, even though it is only from the knees down, because of course Maul was sliced in half somewhere around here by Obi-Wan, so it's meant. I think it's meant to be the full legs are of course prosthetic, but these are the ones that we got there. And of course, these are Maul's. I believe these are actually Maul's third set of prosthetic legs, if I remember correctly, because he has the spider legs, and then he gets the ones that Mother Talzin gives him, and then of course he gets these ones after. So. Yeah, they aren't his original prosthetic legs, but they really do match out well. And this figure just became a worthy addition to any Darth Maul fan or Clone Wars fan, or just one of those completionists. You really want it. I'll give you a rundown on the articulation. There's a ball jointed head, ball hinge shoulders and elbows. There's the ball hinges on the wrists. There's a swivel waist, ball hinged hips, swivel thighs, ball hinged knees, and ball joint rockers at the ankles. This is the hyper articulation that Vintage Collection figures have gone on to be having, and the Maul figure really stands out having that. I mean, everything about it as well. Just it goes really well with the Ahsoka figure if you've got that, and you can just have like a diorama of them dueling as they do in the Senate room. Because I do love the duel. It's just the way it starts in that throne room on Mandalore, and then it escalates into the rafters before he's captured by Maul, and then of course they're about to transport him back to Coruscant. Then of course Anakin cuts off Windu's hand and throws him out the window, and Darth Sidious rises. So as we all know, yeah, it doesn't work out that way at the end of the day, but yeah, Darth Maul does stand out. He stands out well. As I said, I'm just going to keep giving this one praise in regards to what goes on. All the detailing on him, it just really it really does it well. Does the figure all the justice it needs to have, and he goes on really well with Clone Wars figure displays. And I'm glad Hasbro did give us this in the Vintage Collection, because he has stuck out well, and all the different detail they've done for it in the 3 3/4 inch scale. We now just got to hope that they do one for the Black Series, because I wouldn't mind having a sort of Clone Wars version of Maul be on there too. I know we've only ever had like 2 versions of Maul in the Black Series, one being the Episode 1 Darth Maul that was part of the original line. Of course, that was then reissued in Archive line, and then again in Phantom Menace themed packaging in 2019. And then of course we got the comic pack Darth Maul last year. So it'd be nice if we got something a bit Clone Wars variant of Maul in the Black Series, but we'll just have to wait and see how that goes. But I do like this Vintage Collection version. It's very much worth having. I'll leave a link in the description to where you can buy him. Most retailers seem to still have him in stock. He seems to be a bit easier to find than the Ahsoka, that's for certain. HMV, Forbidden Planet, a lot of them do have him in, and he isn't too hard to find. So I would pick him up if you can get him, because he is a great figure. So that's all I can say. I'll give you a proper zoom on the figure instead of me holding him there. You can just see that, and that just really matches up well in regards to the figure. So yeah, that is Darth Maul from the Clone Wars in the Vintage Collection. Really very much a fantastic figure and worth having in any collection. So yeah, I do hope you enjoyed looking at this guy. Do drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Facebook, Twitter and Instagram links down there in the description below. Subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when I've given a new review, whenever that may come. I'll see you next time.